Okay, who am I joined by?
I'm Ben.
I'm Zach.
Boys, England won, Denmark won. What did you make of that result and performance?
Oh, we can do a lot better. It's difficult seeing the players we've got out there do stuff like that and throw it away. I've seen stats that Bellingham didn't make any chances, didn't have a shot, no successful dribbles. It's just tough to see a team that can do so much better perform like that.
What did you make of it?
Disappointing. Sum it up in one word.
How does it make you feel going into the rest of the tournament? You know, we've had one win, we've had a draw. Are you still optimistic?
Yeah, if you don't think it's coming home, what's the point in supporting? It's coming home, isn't it?
There's no point in supporting your country if you're not going to back them all the way. I don't get these England fans saying they don't think it's not going to come home. If you're supporting your country, you have to believe 100%.
Okay, going into the knockout stages, it's looking like we'll get through the group stage. Is there anything you would change in the lineup? Is there any players you want to see more of?
Yes, I want to see more of Mainu in midfield. I think Trent is a defender. He's a right back. He's a defender, in my opinion. He can't even defend. I don't think he should be a midfielder in this England team. We've got Rice and we've got Bellingham, and Mainu complements them both. He can go back and he can go forward. He's the perfect player to go in this midfield, and we're not using him.
How do you feel about that? Do you think Mainu in for Trent?
I completely agree. I think Trent's a luxury player. I think against the weaker side, he's brilliant. Set pieces, dead balls, he's brilliant. I think against the better sides, we need Mainu in there, win the balls, play it forwards. But yeah, I completely agree. Trent's not midfielder, he's a right back at the end of the day. Yeah.
And boys, if I had to ask you now, how do you feel about winning the Euros? Can we do it? Are we going to go on and win it?
I mean, I wouldn't put money on it, but it's coming home realistically. It's coming home.
I'm opposite. I have put money on it, and it is coming home. So that's what it's going to be.
1-0, England, Denmark. What did you make of the performance?
It's average, mate. I think you've been thrown out on the left-hand side. You can't do a lot with Trippier playing on the left. I know Luke Shaw's injured. Luke Shaw on the pitch, presenting stuff down the left-hand side. Trippier's defensive, man. Foden can't get into play. He kept drifting into the middle, which is class. He wasn't there the whole time. Saka didn't get a sniff of it because they're just trying to push it down the left-hand side. I feel like Southgate's listened to the fans to be like, everyone wants like Foden on the pitch, Kane on the pitch, Ben on the pitch, Shaq on the pitch, Trent on the pitch. Like, it feels like this is his last hurrah now. So he's like, yeah, I'll just listen to the fans. I'll put everyone on the pitch right now. Not even thought about it at all.
So what would you change then, Rob, if you could? Is it a personnel change? Is it a formation change? What would you change?
I'll be anchoring Declan Rice at the back at the number 4. He does it for Arsenal the first half of the season. He was class back there. Leave him last man standing against a back 4. Absolutely perfect. And then bring a player that maybe a little bit more defensive.
Are you confident, or has that game killed it for you?
No, I think we'll be fine. Like, we got to be, Slovenia now. Like, they drew today. Should be fine. We'll cruise through there. We don't want to finish second. We don't play against Germany. I don't know who we're going to get. Who are we going to get?
I think it'll be whoever finishes second in Germany's group or in France's group. So looking at like an Austria.
That'll be fine. Like, ultimately, at the end of the day, you've got to beat the big teams. I'll happily take France. I'll happily get Germany in the quarterfinals. Maybe not the first game of the group stage, and you'll still build momentum there. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we've got a great team. I think we're going to do fine. Just got to work that better tactic in the back, especially just in front of the back 4.
And you said it's Southgate's last hurrah. Do you think he should go then at the end of this tournament, regardless of what happens?
I keep seeing these things online, like Southgate's not the one, all that sort of stuff. Has a manager taken us to a final and a quarter-final since 1990? No one has.
Yeah.
I get that maybe people are annoyed about the way he plays the system, but he's still taken us there twice. So you've got to back him. I'm happy with him. Everyone's happy with him, let's be honest. Maybe the subs at 60 minutes should change a little bit. But ultimately, he's got a team that want to play with each other. They want to play for England, which is a difference between the golden generation back in 2004, 2006. Yeah. Like, I think we're in a good position right now, but we'll see what happens moving forward.
Last question. Is it coming home, Rob?
Of course it's coming. I had to hold back there. Of course it's coming home, man.
James, what did you make of that? England won, Denmark won. Disappointed?
It's pretty disappointed. It was like Serbia all over again. Started very well. Looked amazing. Looked like a really, really good side. As soon as we scored, just everybody dropped back behind the ball and started defending and just invited Denmark onto us.
What did you make of the tactics or the players' performance once we went a goal up? It did seem like you say that we just sort of sat off Denmark and didn't try and get the second.
I'm not sure if it's down to everyone's saying it's like Southgate negative management. I'm not sure if it is. I think it's the players. I think the players have to take accountability. They're the ones out on the pitch. The coach can set them up and coach them and stuff like that, but the players have got to go out there and do it. And I just felt there's 4 or 5 senior players out there that as soon as we go ahead, they start taking a step back instead of taking a step forwards.
Okay. What would you change then going into the knockout stages in the last group game? Is there personnel you would change or more of a mentality change?
I think that you've hit the nail on the head. Mentality is the big thing, but I'm a big fan of youth. Get Wharton in that team. I think it gives the whole team a boost. Someone who's young, fearless, gets on the ball, passes the ball. I think he can sort of change the whole outlook and make things happen.
And once we come up against teams like France, Germany, do you think still play young players like Adam Wharton in there or Kobe Mainoo? Would you?
We got 2 more games before potentially we're coming up against France in the. Or was it 3 more games?
I think it might be 3. I think we can
3.
get them in the semi.
Yeah, realistically, we're being very hopeful saying we're going to get 3 more games. But France in the semis, if the young players come in for the next game and do the business, you can't drop them.
Yeah.
They've got us there.
At this moment, after that result in the first game, are you still confident that we can go on and win it, or are you having more doubts now?
Less confident, but you play terrible, win 1 and draw 1. That's pretty good. England have been rubbish. They've got 4 points. You can't knock that.
And regardless of what happens in this tournament, do you think Gareth Southgate should stay as England manager, or do you think it's time for change?
I think it's time for change. We need to get some fresh ideas in there. Southgate's been brilliant for England. He's changed. I'm old enough to remember Roy Hodgson in Brazil.
It weren't that long ago. I remember that, to be
how
fair.
bad that was. And Capello.
Yeah.
And Southgate's been brilliant, but I think we need something fresh. We need to sort of mix it up a bit and get someone new in there with some new ideas.
Okay, guys, as I can see, you just watched the game. England 1, Denmark 1. What did you make of that result and performance?
It lacked a lot to be inspired by.
Yeah, just lacked energy. It's pretty negative. To be fair, I used to be not a Southgate fan, but I kind of defended him a bit. Just kind of thinking, we have to be a bit pragmatic and everything, especially in like a tournament. But I think, with the players we have now, it's kind of clear that they're not playing with the fluidity they should be. And you have that attacking talent and it's just too negative.
So do you think it's a tactical issue rather than the players? Do you think it's not a team selection thing, it's more of the formation and the tactics?
I think it's just the tactics. I think it's coming down to the coaching, because if you think about it, like these players, they're being coached by, Pep, for instance, and they're just going from that to having to have Southgate tend to be negative, and I think the players aren't buying into it, because they're playing that fluid football going forwards, and he's telling them to be, completely different to what they normally do. And even like when he did the triple sub, it just felt like a bit of I don't know what I'm doing type of thing. I think whenever you do a triple sub, it's calls for desperation, and he needs to be bold and just think, maybe Foden's not working out, out on the right. You need to just put someone like Gordon in there. But whilst he got rid of people like Maguire, I know Maguire was injured, but some of the usuals that he'd put in, and
Grealish, Rashford.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And then he's like, right, he's changed things a bit, but then he's not brave enough to kind of do what you need to do, which a good coach would do,
And you said, it was a bit boring and it wasn't as entertaining. Do you think then, so it's not the personnel, do you think that the mentality of Southgate is just quite negative? Like we went 1-0 up and then we just seemed to sit off. Do you think he just needs to let them go a bit?
It's like the game on Sunday. It was the same. I think we played really well the first half, and then just towards the end, it just really, we sat back and there was not much to be excited by. So, yeah.
And going into, the knockout stages, obviously Slovenia and Serbia drew, so it looks like we're almost guaranteed to progress. Are you optimistic or are you running out of hope?
I wasn't optimistic purely because of the fact that, which is weird because we had one of the best squads, and I think just the way, I just feel like Southgate was never going to change the way he plays, and you'd think, right, it's the group stages, we're playing fairly weaker teams, maybe there's a time to let the players kind of, be a bit more bold and let them kind of play how they want to play, and be more attacking and get confidence in the side. But the way he's playing now, it feels like he's almost just doing that to gear them up for the knockouts when you kind of play those stronger teams, and it's just going to be a repeat of the previous tournaments where we'll come across a good team and we just we might even go like a goal up, but then we'll just sit back, and similar to like the final where those players, you need to just go for the jugular, and if you got a goal, like we had Serbia, and then today you go 1-0 up fairly early on, you just got to go get second, third goal with the talent we have, and then you can be defensive and all that, But he just does it from as soon as we get a goal up. He's like, right, let's just sit back. Then maybe you do that, but yeah, it's just wrong manager of the set of players we have, and hopefully, in a way, it might be better long term that we do bad in this tournament, get knocked out. He leaves, we replace him with someone who's a bit more attacking and plays, better coach. And
but we're not going to be knocked out. We're not.
So is it coming home then?
Well, I don't know. I think hopefully we'll see.
No, do you believe it's coming home? Because I don't think you believe it's coming home.
I don't want to get too excited by it, because every year we do this and then it, misery happens. So I'm like, if we just stay calm, maybe this will be the end.
2026. We'll look back at the moment when we get knocked out against some rubbish team in the round of 16, and then they get rid of Southgate, get a different manager in, and then when we win the World Cup in a couple of years' time, that's the moment.
Oh, we're winning the World Cup,
Yeah.
aren't we? Yeah.
With the players we have, we should be.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.